All right, guys, welcome up to a project update. So I told you because just how much miniatures the last division is, I was going to try and do a shorter weekly video, just showcasing the project in general. So this is one of those videos. We're going to kind of be bouncing around between some stuff here, so kind of stay with me. Just kind of shooting off the hip here. I don't really have anything too prepared. But everything on this table is the entire project, either in bags, assembled, primed, painted, various forms of being assembled. This is the project. There is nothing left to buy except for potentially 2 units of cavalry. That's it. Nothing else. So we're going to go through it here. I'm just going to go through and kind of show you guys where everything's at and showcase what's left to go. So over here, you guys have already seen these miniatures. This is the painted Romans. Okay, so this is the smaller of the infantry divisions and the cavalry division. Now the whole premise of this battle is we're using ratios to represent troops on the battlefield, right? And the ratios that we have settled on is 20 to 24 miniatures are going to represent 500 men. 40 to 48 miniatures are going to represent 1,000 men. So, and that kind of fits in good with the size of Roman units because auxilia units were 500 men, legion units were 1,000 men. So, and then Roman cavalry vexillums were 500 men as well. So after going through and looking everything in nauseam, and I mean, guys, I've looked at this so many times and I've done so much adding and calculating on what needs to be done. There's some holes in my Roman units here. So we need to represent about 3,000 Roman cavalry. Triarius has about 1,500. Okay, so that means he has 48, he has 72 cavalry painted. I only have 48. 48, roughly 1,000 miniatures. I need to paint another 500 men's worth of miniatures, so 24 miniatures. So I am short on cavalry. Now, luckily for me, Triarius was kind enough to give me some extra sprues of Vitrix Cataphracts. So that's 8 right there. If I buy another box set, that gives me a total of 16 plus 8, which is 24. So that actually works out quite nice. So I will likely be doing that. I only have to buy 1 set to get 2 units of cavalry. So that's a really good option. In addition to that, the smaller of the Roman infantry divisions is 3 units of auxilia plus a 12-man skirmishing unit. That's not a lot. 12 men only represents about 200, 250 soldiers on the battlefield. I think there needs to be an additional 12-man skirmishing unit for this division for 2 reasons. 1, I think it better represents the numbers of the actual battle. 2, this is going to be the force of one of our participant players. And this is a sub 100-man division. He's going to have the smallest infantry division on the field. So I think it's only fair if I put in a little bit of effort and do another 12-man skirmishing front for this unit. That'll put it over 100 miniatures. It'll be a nice playable force. It'll still be one of the smaller of the divisions, but it'll be, I think, in my opinion, much more fun. And it'll just represent reality better. So that's kind of that. That's a little bit of mission creep. This whole project has been mission creep. I initially signed up for 100 less Romans, not excluding what I just added on, by the way. And I've just been adding more and more onto my painting list. But I think it's all for the better because I want this battle to be done right. I've enjoyed painting for this project. I've enjoyed talking about it and planning it and seeing it come together with Triarius and my friend Drake, who's painting one of the German divisions. And I just want it to be good. So I'm gonna put in the extra mile and make sure it's exactly how I want it. So now we still have the issue of commands here. these are all the commands I want for the Army. These may not be all the commands that I need for Strasbourg. This Army is going to be my Army for the rest of my life. I will never sell this Army, and I plan on playing with it a lot. And obviously, I can easily do Barbarians versus Romans now because I'll have plenty of both. And I'm really fascinated with the late Roman period. This army, you can use this Roman army I have painted. You could use it from Diocletian all the way up to Justinian. Now, realistically, probably, probably the Attila of the Hun era would be stretching it, right? So the Catalonian plains. That's kind of where you'd probably want a reality. But I mean, some of these miniatures, I like all the Aventine stuff is for the Justinian era. But the part of late Roman history that interests me the most is like Adrianople Ford. So like the hardcore decline of the Roman Empire, which is just 20 years after this battle. And I really like the late Roman civil wars, like the Battle of Fritigus River, with Theodosius the Great, who was not very great, by the way, destroyed the Roman Empire with his god-awful policies and Rome on Rome civil wars. But yeah, so this one is going to be the second division, my big division commander. This is and that's Aventine. This is Footsore Belisarius with 2 Bucellari figures. Don't really need it for the project, but I will paint it at some point. This I do need for the battle. These are 2 Footsore cavalry figures that I need for my cavalry command, the command for the cavalry division. And then this is Theodosius himself with all of his hardcore Christian regalia. May or may not paint him before Historicon. And then right here is Footsore. Here's a Footsore guy that I'm going to use as a heroic figure, but it's actually supposed to be King Arthur, I think. So that's the command situation. I at least got to paint this Footsore one and this Aventine one for the battle. But if time permits, I'd like to do all 5 of them. So already talked about the Vitrix cavalry right there. In the back here, these are the primed and assembled ANA / Gripping Beast 24-man unit of Auxilia Palatina, and then the Aventine armored archers that go with this Aventine 48-man unit shield wall unit. And like I said, these figures are supposed to be for the Justinian period, so the mid 500s, but they will do fine in the 350s. And this is the archers that go with them, and they are just beautiful miniatures, like beautiful miniatures. So, and then this is ANA with about 25% of Gripping Beast sprinkled in. Now the rest of the division that's actually painted right here is a skirmishing front or back of the Vitrix archers. So that's a full 36-man set of Vitrix archers all painted up. And then this is the 48-man unit of ANA miniatures with about 25% Gripping Beast sprinkled in, of course. So I just finished these. They're still drying on the base. The glue is for gluing them onto the wood bases there. So we're over halfway done, or about halfway done with the second of the larger Roman divisions, and then in bags, not even assembled or cleaned, or the very last unit of Auxilia Palatina, so 24 men. Aventine, once again, these are all like guys in super heavy armors, and these are the shields for them. So this will probably be like the last unit I do for the Roman army. And yeah, and then of course we got the barbarians, and then we got tons of extra barbarians. So essentially what the plan is for April, I need at the very least finish basing the Legion unit here, the 48-man Legion unit, and then paint the 24-man Auxilia Palatina unit. Okay, so if I can do that in April, we'll be sitting pretty, because the last week of April and the first week of May, I'm going on vacation for 2 weeks. So that's going to be 2 weeks of zero painting. When I get back in May, I really, really, really need to push hard to do all of the Aventine stuff. So a 48-man Legion unit, a 24-man Auxilia Palatina unit, and a 12-man Archer front. So that's a decent amount of miniatures. That's like 80 something miniatures, 82, 84 miniatures that I got to paint in May. But we can do it, especially if I get done with what I need to in April. And then that'll leave June to flesh out the rest of the divisions I talked about earlier. That'll be 24 cavalry and 12 javelin skirmishers and the commands. That is a great timeline for that amount of miniatures. And if by some chance I get through all of that, then I can paint some more barbarians. I got 24. Those are actually Victrix unarmored spearmen. So they're going to be the second 12-man javelin unit there. But over here are 48 armored nobles that I could do another warband with, and 24 Germanic cavalry. So we got plenty of stuff to paint. I don't need to buy really anything else, maybe one unit of cavalry, but everything else is here. So it's just a matter of cranking through it. As you can see here, this is just a workbench area, but it's slowly coming together. There's more every week. There's more and more painted stuff on this table, and the whole thing. And the reason why I want to go the extra mile with the Romans is, Aminianus was a contemporary of the battle. Like, he may have even been at Strasbourg with Julian. We're not sure. We know he was with Julian on the Persian campaign that Julian died in, but Aminianus was there. Like he had firsthand knowledge, possibly with his own eyeballs, but like at the very least, he talked to generals. He talked to Julian all the time. So like, we're really certain on the Roman number. There's a good chance like what he reports. I mean, half the units he names of the Roman legions, of all the Comitatensis and Palatinate units that were there, he was able to name over half of them. So we have a fairly reliable source for what Romans were at the battle. So I really want to do that point, that justice, and I want to get the numbers and ratios right, because I just think it's gonna bring a lot to the game, and it's just gonna look a lot more impressive, and it's gonna play a lot better. The Germans are easy; they just need to outnumber the Romans. That's easy. Just outnumber the Romans, and we'll be good to go on the Germans, right? There's really no like, oh, was this unit an auxilia unit? Was this unit a legion unit? Was this a javelin, a skirmish? Like there's none of that. There's just like throw the hordes on the table. So that's where we're at, guys. Just little off the cuff here, just kind of showing you what's left. It's not as daunting now that I actually see everything, and it's like, oh, like 75% of it is painted. Like we're down to the last 25% of the project. So it is coming together. As far as video, I might actually do, obviously when the second Roman division is done, I will showcase that, and then I might showcase the entire Roman army together, or I might just do the entire project together, or I might showcase the Roman army, and then with Drake's 200 plus barbarians, show the Roman army and mine and his barbarians combined. So sorry you guys had to deal with the handy cam and the shakiness, but hopefully you were kind of able to get a picture of the scope of the project and what's left to go. So till next time, see you guys later.